So we're going to look at one other way to divide by fractions, and that's using a number line. And this can seem a little confusing at first, but I think if you stick with it, you'll figure out kind of what's going on here. It's kind of similar to drawing a picture, but it's just sort of a different way to visualize it. So we're going to start with this straightforward problem. Let's say we had something like 4 divided by 1. Okay, so again, we're just showing what does it mean to divide. So we're going to take this number line. We're going to imagine each of these is going to be like one whole. So like this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if I'm starting with 4 wholes, I'm going to kind of imagine my ending point is going to be right here. I'm going to connect that down to the number line below it too. And then the number line below it, I'm dividing by 1 whole. So each whole, and this is also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every time we get a whole, I'm going to do a loop. So this would be like 1 whole, 2 wholes, 3 wholes, 4 wholes. So this shows us we have 1, 2, 3, 4 little loops there. So 4 divided by 1 whole equals 4, right? That's something we all know, but that's just kind of how this works. So then if we look at another problem, so let's say this time let's do 4 divided by 1/3. All right, I'm going to remember my 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I don't have to go to 5 here. I can just go to 4. And I'm going to kind of draw a line going down. So when I count my loops are all going to stop at this point right here, because that means it's out of 4. So our top number is really what we're out of, and our bottom number we're just going to use to kind of show what we're dividing it into. So we're dividing it into thirds. So on the second line, I'm going to split it in each whole into thirds. Right, so that's 1 whole, but that'd be like 1/3. That'd be like 2/3. Gonna get the idea. And then it kind of goes on, right? So we're just kind of counting by thirds. So I just put these little tick marks to indicate thirds. And we're splitting it into thirds. So every third I'm going to make a loop. So we could do 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to keep going. We've got more thirds. And we're going to stop right there because we hit the total amount. And we can count how many we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 4 divided by 1/3 equals 12. Okay, we could put right here 4 divided by 1/3 equals 12. There are 12 1/3s in the total length of a 4. All right, so let's look at another problem. All right, so we'll do, for this one, let's do something like 4 divided by 2/3. This is a similar problem I did in my last video. But it's okay. If you know multiple ways to solve it, you could always try solving it one way you know, and then try to see how you can make the answer work with what you had before. So we're going to do out of 4. So I'm going to take my number line, and I'm only going to go to 4, so I'm going to draw my line going down. That's where I'm going to stop when I'm making my loops on the bottom. So I'm going to split these into thirds because I'm talking about thirds here. I'm just going to put little marks, so split every whole number into thirds. And I'm going to be splitting into chunks that are each 2/3. So instead of making my loop 1/3, since it's 2/3, I'm going to go 2, and I'm going to stop there. Then I'm going to do 2, 2/3, keep going, and I'll see it actually stops nice evenly at the 4. So I'm going to count how many loops I made. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means by a 4, I'm splitting it into chunks that are 2/3 each. I'm going to get 6 loops or 6 pieces. We'll do one more problem, and for this one we'll have, let's do, how about if we do 3.5 divided by a third. So we'll do this 3.5 divided by 1/3. So I'm going to take my top line. That's going to be my first number that I'm starting with. So see, even when I went to 5, I never actually went there because all my numbers were less than 5. So I'm going to count 3.5 over. Now there's not take line, so I'm going to guess that's about right there. That's about 3.5. I'm going to draw a line going all the way down through my other number line too. And I'm dividing by thirds. So that means I'm splitting this into thirds again. Now this number line method really works the best with smaller fractions, thirds, halves, maybe fourths. If you start getting into fifths or things, it gets a little bit tricky because you have so many lines, you have to line everything up right. But we're splitting it into thirds. So we just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we start to make our next loop, and we notice it gets cut in half, right? So it's only halfway across the loop. The other half would go on that side. But since I'm only going to 3.5, means I have to stop there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1/2. 3.5 divided by 1/3 equals 10 and 1/2 thirds fit into that. So 10.5 is your answer.